I'm your session chair for the afternoon. There's 2 presentations. The good news is you only have to listen to me for 1 minute or so. We have Fu from SINTEF, Norway, Industrial Research Lab in Norway. It's a topic that's also near and dear to my heart, multi-tenancy, particularly relevant in cloud settings, and we're going to hear how the role microservices have to play in this context.
Yes.
Stage is yours.
Thank you, Olaf. Hi, everyone. So it's my pleasure to be here in this conference, and it's very nice setting with academia and industry. So may I ask a question? We already see from the organizers this morning that there is very nice numbers of people from academia and industry, but I would like to ask here that who can say that you are from both worlds, like you have a very strong collaboration between academia and industry? Yeah, that's like to see a few hands up. That's very nice. So because it is exactly what we do in this project, because we are doing a project for customizing a multi-tenant cloud application, and not for this conference, but it is we use microservices to do this. And I have going to very quickly present our research organization that we are in the middle of the academia and research. And SINTEF is such an research organization. Very quick introduction here. So you see that it is a close collaboration between the SINTEF and business industry, but we also have like bridge the gap between the academia and industry in a way, with a lot of R&D and system solutions. And I'm from SINTEF Digital, so it is a big part of the big SINTEF. So you see that SINTEF is a very big organization with different branches. But this is my part is in the software and service innovation, and we are doing research or industry-oriented research from, you see, from IoT, but it is basically from everything from cloud, software engineering, down to edge computing and IoT. So with security, with the security risk analysis and programming for things, and with the cloud engineering as well. So that is to put the context why we are working a lot with industry. And in this project and in this talk, I will give you some results from a project that we collaborate with industry, with 2 companies in Norway. And I will present what is the problem of customization in this context. We go through what we mean by intrusive microservices and what is we mean like non-intrusive way that we use for customizing cloud software. And I would like to share some lessons learned, and actually it is some part of it is very ongoing work, so we would like to have more feedbacks and suggestions from everyone here. So first, let's very quickly go to define the problem of the project. So the project called Cirrus, and it is driven by the real industrial needs. So here we are talking about the companies that provide CRM and ERP solution for other businesses, right? So it is very, and then it is the real requirements from the customer of those software vendors that they have. They need to provide the customization solution for when they deploy the software for their customers. And there are, quite a lot of their customers say, okay, we want to have customization, and we will not want to move to cloud if it will not be allowed to customize their software again, because before the way that those softwares they deploy like on premises, so it means that basically they can customize whatever they want in their own local deployment, right? But now it is moving to the cloud, and it should be the multi-tenant context, and how we can still enable the customization, because for those I will show you why customization is so important and so challenging. So here we are saying that every company, the customer is unique. So that means they want something very special for themselves, and here the requirements is so enormous. So we cannot really predict what kind of customizations that they want. So it means we cannot really do all the customization beforehand, so it means it need to be something on the fly, and in terms of requirements, sky is the limit. So it means we need to provide the customization on the UI, on the business logic, and on the new data types that need to be to be in the context here. So the project that have been going, and we have already some results. So here is only one of the results that we have from the collaboration with these two companies that I mentioned, that they provide ERP and CRM solutions. And the main goal of this project is to provide the technology tools and enablers that allow the customers, that the one who use those ERP and CRM solution that on the cloud, to still be able to do customization, but it need to be in the context of not compromising the benefits of cloud computing. So it means that the multi-tenant context, you are looking into this picture here, that it need to be share the same data database and application of the main product, but they still have the ability for customization. So there is the challenge that we are facing now, right? That you have to provide customization for different things, UI, business logic, and database, and even normally they are very together. So if you look into this picture, it is really what we call deep customization, because there could be the customization that can be done by configurations, and can be done at the low level of technical details, skills. So it means that the settings and so on, we are moving up to scripting and API that provide support for customization. So for example, there are some scripting language, like from Apex language from Salesforce, that they provide for doing customization, or even our partners SuperOffice, they have a CRM script that can also provide some kind of customization support. But here we are talking about the deep customization at the programming level, and that is really can support for different requirements that we cannot predict in advance. So I'm moving to the solution now. So we are talking about customization by microservices, and we are going to talk about what does it mean is the intrusive or what is the non-intrusive way of doing it. So customization by microservices, here I can give very quick definition, you can read it here. But basically you can see that we have a base system that need to be customized, and we use microservices to customize it. So it sounds simple enough, right? But of course, and the idea is already to bring a lot of benefits, that we use microservices with the isolation, where when you say this microservice that for that tenant is for customizing this and that function, and it's only for that tenant. So it means that we can isolate it in one container, for example, and in one microservices. Provide the independent deployment operation for those different multi-tenants context, and freedom of choosing what kind of technology stack that we can use for implementing those microservices for customization. So those in theory everything is good, but again, here it means we cannot really to hit all the nails here. So it means we still have to see what kinds of nails that we are hitting here. And one of the assumption that we have, or not assumption, but the real requirement from the companies is that they have a monolithic kind of application that need to be customized. So the first solution that we got is so-called intrusive microservices, where you see on the left-hand side here that is the main application, or the so-called standard product, and on the right-hand side is the custom code as a microservice. So it means that we can try to customize the main product with the microservice, and the important part, actually the tricky part, is that we need to keep the context, or let's say keep the context of what is in the main product that running. So we still have to expose those contexts to the microservice for customization, and the customization is done by the called the callback code from the microservice that send back to the main product to be compiled and even to execute in the main product. So that is the way that why it's called intrusive microservice. So here we use text script, and is on Docker, for example, for those microservices. So here that I mentioned about the callback code that we to query the context from the main product, and then on the microservice to do the changing in terms of business logic and UI that can provide back to the main product to solve the customization change to the end user. So the experiment is, for example, you can see that we have one very simple prototype that use this prototype that we have the demo video here. But you can see that the flow is like that when the trigger of customization is done in the main product, and the process is it will trigger the custom code, and it will query the context of in the main product and do the customization in the custom code and send back the value. So that is the kind of the flow that we have. But the tricky part is on the customization of the UI and how to combine it with the logic and with the database from the custom code. It is actually we saw that it's feasible to do customization using intrusive microservices, but our actually the companies they say it has a drawback is an intrusive callback code, because basically it can be compiled and interpreted at in the main product and run in the main product. So that could be some problem with security. So then there is some limitation that it should not be allowed for some cases, like if the if the customization is developed by third parties and it's not trusted by the vendor, software vendor. So that is not a good way. But of course, it could be applied in some cases. So how to be non-intrusive? So if we say about the monolith application, it is really difficult to be non-intrusive. That to allow deep customization in the sense that we say like very low level customization like programming level. And to be non-intrusive now, so far what I found is it really depends on the kind of the architecture of the main product. So it means our industrial partners, Visma, they are trying to migrate their ERP system to microservice architectures. And here, for customization, it seems much more friendly and more kind of customization ready in a way that I can show how we can do the non-intrusive customization still using microservices, and it's with the API gateway via API gateway, for example. If with the assumption that the main product is in the microservices architecture. So this is ongoing work, so it's not like very extensive experiment yet, but we can see like a one shot of the architecture is, you can see like that. So here we are have done experiment with the MVC core, .NET Core MVC2 as a UI, and we have the gateway to derive like direct requests to different microservices for in the main products, but also in the microservices for customization in the tenants here. So that means we have and of course we have the microservices. They will have the updates via event bus here with the event driven approach for collaboration between the microservices. For this we are doing experiment on this. The kind of open source prototype is eShop on containers. Maybe many of you also heard about it. So it is I think it's a very kind of a good prototype for doing experiment in this direction. So here it means we have the for the UI part that we do the customization, we already have a mechanism to for example, in terms of .NET Core MVC, we override the Razor framework so that we can really customize the UI here by sending the UI from the microservices that for customization those customization that we have with the tenant that you see here there and do the changing the UI in the MVC way. The gateways play a important role that I will show you here. So the flow is like that. Here we have the the user of a specific tenant that has registered for that tenant, they have already registered the customization microservices with the system. So we have the concept of tenant manager as well. But here I will show you that when this user, they have make a method call to the controller in the MVC framework, so that it will trigger the. Of course, we need to request to the API gateway. If that tenant doesn't have any kind of customization, so of course it's still going to the normal business logic of the main product. But if there is the customization register for this tenant and for that user, so then it will trigger the. Okay, we also have the IAM service out of the picture, but I just keep it out. We have the tenant manager that provide the endpoints for the customization. So it means if the end user for that tenant, they have the customization point registered with the system, then it means that the endpoint will be returned for that method, and it will trigger the customization in the customization service. And in here, I would like to say that the microservice architecture can provide the way that the customization service can still call the business logic of the system of the base service. So it means, you see on the back side here, a lot of microservices in the main system. It can still be called by the microservices for customization here. So that it means that it can still have the ability to do whatever the logic that in the main product can do, but then we can replace that with the logic for customization. We can even say that this service, it totally replace one microservice for business logic of the main product. So it kind of rewrite the whole business logic. That is also possible. So here we can still say it is still enable the deep customization in a way. So the tricky point is still in the management of how we have the API gateway to provide the right, or let's say to the correct endpoints for customization, and the UI part, that is the tricky part, because we need to enable the real changing of the UI in the totally dynamic way. So that is so in .NET Core MVC2 we have a way to override the Razor framework that we can do that. And we also talk about the database level as well. So here I will go into some lessons that we learned from doing this kind of project so far. And like I said, the intrusive, it is feasible, and it is even applicable for monolith architecture as well. But there are some drawbacks that I mentioned about the intrusive way of the callback code that is not desirable in some scenarios or some cases. And now we are talking about how we can do non-intrusive way, and it is really the question on whether the main product can already be, we can say it need to be migrated into microservice architecture that can be more customization friendly or customization ready in a way. And this is only one of the main approaches that we have in the Cirrus project, but there are other approaches that based on scripting language like CRM script that I mentioned, or in parallel stack that can do customization with the main product as well. But we can say that there is no really one silver bullet that can really do the job. So it means we have to choose from kind of the catalog of what is available, what is possible, and what is suitable for which scenarios and which problems that we have. So it is exactly what I just mentioned about there is no silver bullet, so we have to choose. So it means if some customization it can be provided in terms of configuration, some customization can be done via scripting, and if we say there are scenarios where very deep customization based on the programming level that needed, we can provide via internal API with the intrusive microservice or even non-intrusive microservice with the external API. But here again, it's the assumption is has to be done with also with the what is the main product there. Need to be taken into account the scale between the isolation assimilation. Here it means customization has to be kind of the same like the main product, and the economy of scale. It means that the more customization we do, is it bring even, I mean, it doesn't harm in terms of the benefits of the customization. So we also have the kind of DevOps way of doing customization with microservices here. That we have the IDE support and so on, sandbox for testing. We also have a vision of the ecosystem. So it means that the customization solution is only part of the big picture here, where we have to provide the tools and application for development of the customization in microservices. But it's go a lot with operation with monitoring, co-evolution between the main product and the microservices and upgrades that we mentioned, and even with the database management as well. So here we and security is a very important things that we need to consider here. So I just put a few references and acknowledgement here, but I think that's just the main points that I want to share in this talk. Thank you very much.
Once again, perhaps it's a silly question. How do you deal with the availability of your customized API?
You mean the availability?
Yeah, if a fault or something doesn't work.
So yeah, actually in the framework that we have some kind of the health check for the microservices that running those customization. Yep.
Sorry. In your diagram, you have like a selection or your customization, and then you push the call basically and get back.
Yes.
How do you? What happens if something goes wrong? I mean, do you have a? Is it built inside the system, the compensation for it?
So actually there are the few ways that we need to manage those. So for example, there's we need to have some kind of circuits if there's something wrong with the service, right? So of course we need to have the arrow that handle those. And but here we also like I mentioned, it's still like in this direction we are still ongoing work, so there are a lot of things that we need to answer. So it is one of the, I think that's a very right question, that one of the things that we need to handle more properly is in that case. So it means we need to have some kind of more resilience in the system as well when you say, okay, now that microservice is fail. But here one thing that I have to mention is that the customization here is very tenant specific. So it means the tenant have to be like say responsible for the failure of their microservices for customization in their domain. So there's no it means the isolation that we provide is it need to say that failure of that tenant doesn't affect other tenants in the using the same system, right? Yep.
Just to understand a bit the terminology that you're introducing, AP gateway are a standard way to just handle versioning, and with the feature toggles, basically you can customize on the fly and everything. What do you mean with non-intrusive? Do you mean that we are using AP gateways, as in the usual thing explained on DevOps handbooks and this kind of stuff? So what's the difference between, for instance, non-intrusive and the usage of AP gateways?
Yes, so actually the API gateway that we are using in this context is to now on the one hand it will already provide the main function of as a normal API gateway. So it means that you is redirect the request. So in the application we have the main product that provide the normal business logic, right? So that if the if the customer of that tenant doesn't require any customization, so it just go through the API gateway and to the normal business logic that we need and the normal UI. Exactly. So
I suggest that you have a very good discussion for the coffee break.
Yes.
Two of you. We're out of time in the interest
Right.
of the time for the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Olaf. Thank you.